Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me today. We have Lady Daphne Bead Strand Duo. This is from the Society Papers limited edition release from Jesse James Beads. Jump on over to their website. I have a link in the description. I love these, and if any of you watch my videos, I do not like cutting into strands. I have to cut into a strand. And the first strand I'm going to cut into is this one here, because what we're going to do is with this gorgeous chain, also from Jesse James Beads, I did an unboxing of some of the collection items, and I'll have that link in the description below as well. And I have some of this gorgeous chain that has, it's silver, and it has little bars in between the little chain links. And first thing I'm going to make, and I've already attached one of the jump rings that they included and a lobster clasp, but we're going to make a little bit of a pendant. We're going to make a little pendant down here. And when I say little, it's not going to be that little, because it's going to include probably about this section, maybe this section totally. I don't know, because I haven't busted into this yet. And I might want to use these little gorgeous acrylic bead caps instead of the silver. I have other stuff out here as well. You'll see here that I have one of these gorgeous crystal magnetic clasps, also from Jesse James Beads. And we're going to be making a multi-strand bracelet. Also in the wings here, I have a couple of the new Society Papers releases for some TOHO beads, and I can't remember what blue. It might just be blue, and then this one's tan, but I feel like there was names to them. So I'll include them in the description. I also pulled this matte gray from my JJB seed bead collection here that I have. And so we might use these. I love using these as spacers, but also too, I am going to be either making a pair of earrings or just a single pendant using these coin beads, and we're going to be doing some stitch work. All right, let's get making a pendant for here. And I have a piece of wire here, and I cannot remember what this piece of wire was for, and I had it with it. But I do have some head pins, which the head pins might be a little small for this here unless I just do a simple loop, but we might need to bring in some additional wire. Okay, here we go. I'm going to cut into this bead strand, which I cannot believe I'm going to do right now. Okay, I don't want to cut the bead, so I'm being very careful. I guess I could have gone in between there too, but let's see where we can cut it off and it not be, there we go, right here. I did it. I did it, you guys. Doesn't happen often, but I did it. Okay, let's go ahead and take that off there. And this is what I want to use. Now, as you can see, this has a nice size hole. I am wondering if I could slip, just 1 second here. And I do have some right here. I'm wondering if I could slip some capture chain from Silver Silk through there. I can, I think it's because that end I have is mostly the ball of the ball chain. Let's see here. Oh yeah, look at that. And that's what I usually like to use it for, but we're still going to have 2 more, so maybe we'll do something with some Silver Silk and that. All right. So it has a nice size hole, so I am not able to just, and I could just string this on and call it a day. I could just string this on here. And that is beautiful all by itself. And with this chain, which I mean, I might, you never know. Let's see here. I'm wondering with this chain, just looking at the size of the hole for this, might not be. So it goes through the chain, but not through the little bar. So we can't do that. But Yeah, let's look and see what we have here. I'm thinking, oh, that goes through. Oh my goodness, I'm kind of digging this. So now I'm having a change of heart here. So if I do something like that, what if I did something like that? I don't think that will go through. Nope. Will this go through? Oh yeah, that will go through easily. So I am wondering, let's pass this guy through. And it might not pass through all of them. I am completely changing things up. No, it's not going to go through this one, so I can't do that. And I want to use these for something else. Well, it was a good thought. Okay. So what we're going to do here is I want to stack this up. So I'm going to grab just a spare piece here and see how I want to put this together. And then let's do this and do that. I think I like this in there because it kind of nests in there a little bit. So I do like that. Now, I could make it like this and just put a spacer bead or something at the end. But what I think I want to do, and I have no idea why I just took that all apart, I think what I want to do is make it just like this and make a little bit of a pendant, just like that, and then just have that sit, and we can just use that as a pendant for the necklace. So let me see if we can, because if we can just do, I do like wrapped loops, but these are the Bead-A-Lon head pins. They're the flat head pins, and I got them from jessiejamesbeads.com, so you can grab some there. And I apologize if you hear screaming. There's a party going on like 2 houses down. And these are, like I said, they are very sturdy. The only thing is I do like a little bit of a wrapped loop. Let's see if we can just get a couple of wraps. Okay, so I'm going to have that all nice and tight in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and bend this over, which is a little bit of a challenge because these are very, very strong head pins. Okay. And then I just need a very small loop. Okay, so I'm going to come very close to the end, and I'm only going to wrap it around twice. It's probably all I'm going to get is twice. And I need to get this all nice and centered. And that is centered, I believe. We'll see. Yep, it's pretty much centered. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to the loop with my chain nose pliers. I'm going to bring in a second pair and get this wrapped around nice and tightly. And like I said, I'm probably only going to get a couple wraps, but I am going to use up this entire, sorry about that if I bump the camera. I'm going to use this entire piece. And now I'm just kind of guiding it around, just pinching down. Okay. Okay, and then let's grab it here. I have a little bit of a tail sticking out there that I need to bring in. Okay, and it's going to sit like this anyways, And then let's straighten it up. Let's straighten it up a little bit more. So I'm back and I went ahead and strung on the pendant onto the chain directly. So with that wrapped loop, I did add my jump rings on the ends with the lobster clasp, and so pretty. And it fits perfectly. This is the center. And so it's just perfectly centered on the chain, and it's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous and stunning. Then also too, while I was away, I went ahead and grabbed one of those coin beads from the strand, and I did some brick stitching around the coin bead. The coin bead has a tall side, and I got this idea from Danielle Wicks. I had seen a video quite some time ago, and I just always wanted to try it out, and I can't remember what the project was, and I couldn't remember, so I couldn't go back and watch it. So I just had to kind of visualize what was going to happen. And I do remember beading thread, so used some thread, and I have not, well, I take that back. I have used thread before, and when I did, I snapped it because I got too bossy with it. So I just took my time and I just did a little bit of a figure eight. I had the tail out of here. And so I just went up with my needle and came down, went back up, came down, and then I repeated that so that I had 2 strands basically at the base of that bead. Then I just started brick stitching around it. Then when I got up to the top and did the join, I added one of the daisy spacers, one of those gorgeous little bead caps, acrylic bead caps, and one of the rondelles, and then grabbed some more of the seed beads. This was the Queen of the Clouds, which I love these seed beads, because I first thought, oh, maybe they're not all the same color, but, and I think I do have this in my unboxing, but if you look closely at the colors, I'll zoom in, I first thought, oh, well, they're just maybe they're not right. Well, they're all right. There's some little darker ones, there's some lighter ones, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful blend of seed bead coloring on these seed beads. So I used those, and I used the caramel creamer, and these are 2 that you can find in the Society Papers collection tab in the limited edition folder. Go to limited edition. It's right next to shop, I think, and then go down, and the first option right now is Society Papers. Okay, so that is what I used. I was going to bring in this gray that I have, but I didn't need to. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to. I think I'm going to use them in a different project. So that's what I ended up doing. And then I just used my thread and came back around. And then I went up and down 3 different times to reinforce that. Down here, I sewed in and then cut the thread. Now, I thought I would need to glue it. And I mean, it can move and slide off, so you might want to glue it, but this is going to be for me, so I'm not going to glue it, but it's very, very pretty. So that was the second necklace. Then let's start this next part out by making these earrings here. I used one of the heart glass beads. Then I have these little inky dinky tiny silver beads that fit perfectly in the top of the heart, and then I added one of those seed beads just as a spacer. I did a simple loop, and then I did a simple loop down at the bottom, and then did a wire wrap loop at the top. I used some ear wires. I had these extra from a Softflex Jesse James Beads event. Okay, I'm going to grab one of my head pins, and this is one of the Bead-A-Lon flat head pins that you can get at jessiejamesbeads.com. Then I'm going to add my little tiny bead cap, and it just fits in there perfectly. Then I love using seed beads as spacers, so we're going to do that. Then we will make our simple loop, which everybody knows is not so simple for me. And I'm going to bend over here, and I don't want a huge loop, so I'm going to come in about here, put my scraps, and oh, looks like I got my scrap almost exactly the same. Almost exactly the same. I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers and start making my loop. And for me, the natural tendency is to roll away from me, but I have a hard time because I don't do these very well. And so I like to be able to see where the end is coming around. And so that's how I can do that, is by having that go towards me. You can also roll away from you. Oh, I need one of these teardrops too. You can do it either way. You can do it like that, which I think that's what I was planning on doing. And then, excuse me, and then I forgot. So I have some silver German style wire here. And the first thing I want to do is the first thing I want to do is add my bead. Then I want to make my simple loop down here at the bottom. Not the prettiest, but it will work. Then I want to open that up because it's just easier to attach your components before you have your bead all nice and wrapped up. Okay, so I'm going to use my bent chain nose pliers, get that little component done. And then I think what I did was I went in the same direction. And what I mean by same direction, my loop is going this way, so I'm going to go ahead and do my loop that way too. And I want to get 3 good wraps, so I came down just a little bit off of my tip of my chain nose pliers. I'm going to rotate my wrist, push that to the back, get that all nice and centered. And since I have a nice long length here, I'm going to go ahead and just use the wire. Now, I'm not going to be warming the wire, so I'm just going to try and not kind of move my fingers down the wire. I just want to try and get a little bit of a bulk. Too much of a bulk. Let's undo this a little bit. Okay, I do want to use my wire later. I have a nice good piece. Then, so I just went down, I went down 3 and came up 3, just so that I can have a little bit of a bulky wrap. Because up at the top, I didn't add any sort of like spacer or bead. Okay, now we'll go ahead and add our ear wire. We have a pair of earrings. So I've made the first pendant and the second pendant. Well, the first pendant was on camera. The second pendant was off camera. Then now we have a cute little pair of earrings, and we're not done yet. Check those out. Okay, so now we are going to use, I think I found some, I did have some crimp beads here. feel like I had a little bit more than that. Nope. So I have 4 crimp beads, so we'll just make a double strand necklace, and then we'll attach it using one of these gorgeous magnetic clasps from Jessie James Beads. So for this next project, we are going to use, I think I want to use this as the center and do a little bit of beadwork here, and then I am going to, I'm going to bust into this one too. Yep, everybody, I am busting into not 1 but 2 strands today. And I will take this all apart. And so here's the strand pile, the tiny strand. This was from the larger strand. And then I also want to incorporate these. These are, oh man, I can't remember what they're called, but I'll have them in the description. But I think these are great and they match perfectly with this. And I thought that I could bring in maybe some of these gray to go in between. And then it looks like this color. So if I try to keep the coloring about the same, then my second strand can be more of these again. And actually, I might just put some in here, have some sparkle, because we have lots of sparkle. I could put sparkle here. And sparkle. We do have some spacers. So we do have some spacers, and I think I might use those because I need some dangles. So I still have 2 of these here. So we'll make some dangles. Let's save one of these for a dangle. And we'll use one of these for a dangle too. So put that off to the side. Okay, so if we have this all spread out, we can put these little guys there. We can add these here. And we can add it here too. Okay, so I am going to go with this so far. And then we'll see how long it is. I just have some bead stringing wire here. And we'll just see what this looks like. I think my second strand is just going to be seed beads with those other beads. So this is at 5.5. And well, you know, I think I'm gonna be adding quite a bit with this. But I feel like I need just a little bit of length. I can put these in between. Oh, pretty. Okay, I'm gonna put that off to the side. Those are gonna go off to the side. That is just stunning color. All right, so what I wanna do is I'm gonna add my crimp bead that I have over here to the side. I'm gonna add my wire guardian. I do really like using wire guardians. It doesn't matter how strong my wire is. I just feel that by adding the wire guardian, I just feel like it protects. And it's not just me, it's most of everybody. Okay, now I want to bring these ends just a little bit more together and grab my crimp tube, but I don't want my crimp tube sitting on top of, my crimp bead sitting on top of my my wire guardian, because I don't want to ruin my wire guardian. But I do want this all to be nice and tight. I'm separating the wire so that they are separated under the crimp. Okay, give it a bit of squeeze so you have one wire on one side and one wire on the other. See, they're separated, and now I'm going to go ahead and bring those together with the front notch of my crimping plier and give it a tug test. I'm not sure if this will go through. Oh, it will. So I am just going to trim off a little bit of this. And the reason why I don't trim it at the base is I feel like my little crimp isn't centered when it sits on it, when half of it's gone. So that is absolutely perfect. It's not going to come out. It's not poking out either side. Then I'm going to come over. I just have to make sure that when I put it back. Now, when I'm trimming, when I'm trimming this off, I need to allow for these extras that I added. So I'm going to come out just a little bit more. Give it a trim. I need to add my rondelle crystal spacer and my bead there. Also too, I want to make sure that it's not going to be this super tight fit. So I'm going to kind of mold my bracelet the way I would as if I were wearing it. I'm going to pass that back through the other side of the wire guardian, through the crimp bead, and then through. Let's go through the crimp bead first. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer crimp beads or crimp tubes? For me, it depends on my project, really. And if I want that bead-like finish that I can get when I am using the crimp tubes, when I use the magical crimper. But then I just feel like I don't have a preference, except for when I'm wanting that bead-like finish. And close it off, give it the tug test. It's not going anywhere. Let's come in and get as close as we can. And okay, what you can see is if I have it open up all the way like this, you can see the gaps, but the bracelet is going to be like this when you wear it. So when you wear it, it's going to be sitting on your wrist like this, and so you don't see any gaps. Very nice. Love it, love it. Okay, so there's one side. Now I need my other side to be the same length, around the same length. We're going to use these. I love this strand. Then we're also going to use, I think we're going to use some of the gray. The gray is really pretty. That's really pretty too. But I think we're going to use some of the gray, even though this is perfect for it too. But again, I think we're going to use some of the gray. All right. And I want it to be, like I said, about the same size or same length, right? And I'm going to start off with 2. Let's go here, and I think I'm going to use 2. Oh, you know what would be really pretty though? That's almost the same color. Wouldn't it be pretty? I mean, that's almost identical. If what if, okay, I'm going to do an audible here. What if okay, so let's do 1, and then 1, and then 1, and one of these. That's kind of pretty, huh? So then I'm going to keep on going. I don't want to keep you. So I'm going to keep on going until I get to the desired length, and I will bring you back. My only fear when I'm doing a symmetrical type, a patterned bracelet, especially when it's stacked like this, I worry about sizing. And I tell you what, this sizing couldn't be more perfect. I could not believe it, because there's a lot in between, right? There's 1/4 of an inch, a little less than 1/4 of an inch, or about 1/4 of an inch. And it's really hard when you're trying to match the same sizing. So I'm glad it worked. And the way to get around that, so if you get to the end and you're like, oh man, I need basically this and the seed beads, then you can just add more seed beads to each side rather than the entire pattern. Okay, I'm going to grab my crimp bead and my wire guardian. It looks like a crimp bead got on my wire guardian. Okay, and then pass that through one side. Pass that through one side. Come on, get in there. Well, when that happens, I just try the other side. So I'll just try this other side, and then I'm entering the other side from the other direction. Okay? And we will go here. Now the thing with using the seed beads on the ends, then I can't do my thing with passing through the end through my next bead. I'm going to bring these together, but that will be okay. I mean, it's all right when it has to happen, but I prefer. Okay, make sure my wires are not crossing. Also, too, when we get to the other side, you'll see that it does give you a little bit more room when you can pass your wire through. It's not, I did the tuck test. It's not, I don't know. I see some people that do it and some people that don't. Okay. I mean, it's secure with not, you know, it's secure with it being just like that too. But again, it's just me. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing as I did on the other side, where I want it to be not tight. I need it to be a little loose. Then also too, you have to be sure not to crimp over your seed bead. I've done that many times. Okay. Make sure that that's separated. I'm not sure if it is, so let's just turn that. It's not. Okay, there we go. Got a nice, good. Make sure you get into that little notch, which I'm not in. There I am. And give it a squeeze. Turn on its side. Give it another squeeze. Give it the tug test. It's not going anywhere. And just come in as close as you can. See, I don't like the little nubby kind of sticking out. Okay. Now that we have our bracelet put together, what's this? Is that a seed bead? That's a seed bead. I want to make a couple of dangles for the end here. So let's make one like this, and I'm going to make a wrapped loop. So give it a bend. Come in with my round nose pliers, form that over that barrel, push the tail to the back, and then rotate your wrist to get that all nice and centered. You're gonna add your chain nose pliers. I'm just gonna lock that in place, and then bring a second pair of chain nose pliers and give it 3 good wraps. Oops. Oops. I got a little wonky with my wrap there. Give it a little bit of a trim. Come in with my second pair of chain nose pliers, and I just want to push that down, finish that off. Perfect. Then do we want to do a little disco ball? We could do a little disco ball. Come in with my chain nose pliers just a little bit off the end, give it a bend, round nose pliers, form that over, hold on to it, push it to the back, and then get it all nice and evened up. Come in with your chain nose pliers, just lock that in place a little bit, and then start wrapping. We're going to wrap 3 times around. I usually do 3 times, kind of a standard for me. Okay, come in with my second pair of chain nose pliers that are bent, and then tuck in that little tail there. Okay, I think I'm going to do a jump ring on one of them so it hangs down just a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Then we're going to open up our larger jump rings, and we're going to add 1 strand. We're going to add 1 strand, 2 strand. We're going to add that guy, and then 1/2 of our magnetic clasp. And come in and get that nice and closed up. That was nice. That closed up tightly. Then we will come in, bring in our second half, right? And we will do this, do this. We'll get the second half of our magnetic clasp, come in and get that all nice and ooh, you can hear it lock in place. And here is our bracelet, a beautiful little stack bracelet with some dangles. And we still have this, so we have this left from the small strand, and I think these came off the small strand too. And then we have these left from the big strand. So we have a little bit of a pile left over, and I still have all these beads here. So we can still do something with this strand and the leftovers. I'm gonna go ahead and tie this off so that they don't get away. Okay, so we made our pendant, made our bracelet, and we made a pair of earrings, all using some of the beads, not all the beads, but some of the beads from the Society Papers collection, and this was the Bead Strand Duo in Lady Daphne. Off camera, I made this pendant using one of the coin beads and doing some brick stitch around the bead. So we end up with a couple of necklaces, a bracelet, and a pair of earrings. So please give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Go check out this new collection. They have so much included in this collection. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to be making a bookmark using some of the ribbon and cord ends and another Bead Strand Duo from the Society Papers collection from Jesse James Beads. Be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Comment. I love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.